Let's talk about schools, and specifically one of their biggest monthly expenses. What if that expense could suddenly start making the money? We're talking about a piece of tech that's in pretty much every single school, and we're going to explore how it can be completely flipped from just a cost into a real asset.
You know, for just about every school district out there, the Wi-Fi network is a lot like the water bill or the electricity. It's a utility. It's something you have to have, and it shows up on the budget every single month as a fixed cost, an expense.
But what if we could totally flip that script? What if that network could stop being just a drain on the budget and actually start bringing in revenue for the district? And what if, at the exact same time, it could add a critical new layer of safety for everybody on campus? That's exactly what we're going to break down here. First, we'll look at this hidden potential. Then, we'll talk about the two big challenges schools are up against. We'll introduce the tech that makes all this possible, see how it turns that cost into actual revenue, and then, of course, we'll tackle the big important question, is it secure? So, let's kick things off by rethinking this familiar utility. That Wi-Fi signal that we all know fills the halls of a school, well, it isn't just for Chromebooks and tablets anymore. It has this hidden capability that we're about to unlock. And this whole idea is really designed to solve two of the absolute biggest challenges that schools deal with today. Because for districts everywhere, it almost always comes down to the same two things: keeping everyone safe and stretching those budgets.
And right here, this is the constant battle. On one hand, you have the absolute critical need for safety. I mean, in an emergency, every single person on campus needs a rock-solid connection. But on the other hand, you've got this intense budget pressure. Districts are often working with razor-thin margins, which makes it tough to fund even essential upgrades, let alone brand new initiatives.
So how in the world can one solution possibly tackle both of these problems at once? Well, it all comes down to a really clever piece of technology called carrier offload.
So, what is carrier offload? It sounds technical, but here's the best way to think about it. It gives a school's existing Wi-Fi access points a second job. They basically become this network of mini cellular towers. This means that instead of just providing Wi-Fi, they can now also help carry cellular data traffic for the major mobile carriers. And the main goal here? It's really simple and powerful. You boost safety by making sure everyone has connectivity, and you create a brand new revenue stream from the exact same hardware the school already has installed. Okay, let's really dig into those two benefits. How does this system turn what used to be a monthly expense into what could be a monthly paycheck for the district?
First up, the safety part. By creating this really robust cellular environment, you get rid of dead zones. That means whether you're a student, a teacher, or a visitor, your device has a reliable connection to call for help. And, crucially, it also means first responders who show up on scene can actually communicate with each other, which can be a huge problem inside big, concrete school buildings.
And now for the other side of the coin, the money. This quote from the source material just says it all. It's not about buying a bunch of new gear, it's about making money from the system that's already installed and running right now. So how does the money actually get to the school? It's a pretty simple three-step process. First, the system uses the school's existing Wi-Fi to offload cellular data from people's devices on campus. Second, it keeps track of just how much data has been handled. And third, the school district gets paid by the carriers every month based on that volume of data. It's that straightforward. And here it is, the most important point for any school budget administrator listening. The upfront cost to the district to get this thing up and running is zero. A big old donut. There's no new capital investment needed. It's all about turning that existing cost into a true financial asset. Now, you might be thinking, hang on, don't most schools ban phone use during class? And that's a great question. This system is actually designed to work around that. See, the best times for data capture aren't during history class. They're during those high-traffic times when everyone's using their devices freely. You know, before school, during lunch breaks, and especially during after-school events like football games or parent-teacher nights.
Okay, this all sounds really good, maybe a little too good to be true, which immediately brings up the most important question of all. Is it secure? Let's take a look at how this technology is designed from the ground up to protect the school's private internal network. The security here is all built on one core principle: total separation. First off, this public network has its own unique name, so it's completely separate from the private school network right from the start. It uses the same secure tech that your phone uses to automatically and safely connect to trusted networks elsewhere. And, most importantly, all the data that passes through is encrypted,
and travels in its own isolated lane, completely walled off from the school's internal network that handles all that sensitive student and admin data.
So what you end up with is a professional-grade system that runs in parallel to the school's network, not on top of it. Really, the best way to picture it is like a secure, encrypted tunnel. The public data passes through the school's hardware, but it can never, ever exit that tunnel and touch the school's private traffic.
So, to wrap it all up, the transformation is pretty clear. Functionally, the Wi-Fi network goes from being a simple utility to a dual-purpose asset. Financially, it flips from being a monthly cost to a revenue generator. And from a safety perspective, it evolves from just standard coverage into a genuinely enhanced emergency network. And you know, this whole thing brings us to a much bigger question. This is just one example of leveraging existing assets in a completely new way. It kind of makes you wonder, as technology keeps evolving, what other pieces of public infrastructure could, and maybe even should, start paying for themselves?